What's going on? I'm Spencer Burnett, the founder of Level Up, where we help rapidly growing companies scale their business through systems, team, and culture so you can spend more time in your business doing what you love, spend more free time doing things that you're passionate about, and actually make more money without having to burn yourself out. Today, I'm going to be going over one of the most critical elements of your business that is a massive, massive energy and time leak, which is hiring and firing team. Now, as you start to grow and you're a solopreneur, and those of you who are solopreneurs might be going through this, those of you that have 7- and 8-figure businesses, you've definitely been through this, where you start to get overwhelmed by all of the work that is required in order to do your business, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have just got so much to do, I need to hire somebody. And you think that, well, we just get a referral, hire someone and say, I need help. Help me on the things that are overwhelming me. And then you end up working with this person. It starts out kind of okay because they got a ton of ambition. And then 2-3 months later, you're thinking why am I even paying this person? What are you doing all day? And then it just is hey, you know what? This isn't working out. They were the wrong person, and it's all their fault. Well, let me tell you this, that it's probably your fault. And it usually comes in the hiring process. Now, there are times where it doesn't work out, and it isn't necessarily your fault. I would say that's probably 30% of the time. But when that does happen, and even if it's your fault, you need a proper protocol in order to let them go as well. So what I'm going to be showing you today is a checklist, a process that you need to go through in order to properly hire and onboard a team member, and then when it's not working out, what you need to do in order to properly offboard that person so we can make a clean start, we can make a clean break, and there isn't a whole lot of mess and again, energy leaks and loose ends when you hire and fire someone. So let's start with hiring. I'll show you my checklist here. All right, so here's the checklist I've got for you. So when you're hiring someone, it's very similar to when you're onboarding a client. The way that it starts, it sets the tone for the entire relationship of which you work with someone, and you want to set your team up for success. The number one reason that team members don't work out is because they weren't set up for success at the beginning, okay? So before we get into the logistics of hiring someone, let's talk about the mindset of hiring a new team member, because it's so often said in the entrepreneurial circles that you need to hire A players, and I agree. A players are awesome; they're worth their weight in gold. But that doesn't just mean someone that is highly qualified. You want to hire team members based on values, integrity, and then skill. You got to make sure that they have the same values as your company has. And if you haven't worked out your company values in detail, then you need to in your next quarterly planning. And if you're not doing quarterly planning, then you definitely need to start doing that. If you're not doing that and you want support from my team, simply just go to spencerburnett.com/apply, talk to one of our workflow specialists, and let's figure out what you need to put in place in order for you to have the simple things that you need in order to properly hire somebody. Next is integrity. You need to make sure that the people that are on your team are in congruence with their intentions, their commitments, and their actions. When your intentions, your commitments, and actions are all the same thing, then all you need is proper training and time in order to get results. So that's when skill matters, because honestly, someone could have the greatest skills in the world, but if they don't follow through with the things that they commit to, then it's worth shit. It's worth absolutely freaking nothing. And if they follow through and they've got the skill, but it's just not a good culture fit, then again, it's if people are fantastic at what they do and they're great at follow through, but they don't jive with the humans that are passionately working towards this vision, and they're just not in that same rhythm, that same energy, then it ends up not being a good long-term fit, and business is a long game. So before you start scouting people, as you're scouting people, be sure that in that interview, you go over the values, go over integrity, and then go over skill. Okay, now that we've got that set, let's now go into the steps of hiring someone. Now, before you hire someone, you need to make sure that you do work before you hire them. A lot of times I see businesses is they like hire someone, throw them into the fire, and then just like figure it out from there. My God, please don't do that. I mean, if you don't want to be successful, like great. If you just want to get your business to, just above the next level to relieve a little pressure, if you're doing it, if you're hiring as a reactive action to your stress, it's just going to create more reactivity. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to create a clear job description, which means that the role that keep in mind that you're not hiring a person, you're hiring a role. What is the objective of the role? So if you're hiring an operator, the objective of the role is to support the CEO in the execution of the projects and objectives through delegation and management of a team in order to meet deadlines and KPIs. That's the objective of the role. If you're hiring a salesperson, the objective of the role of the salesperson is to get on calls with the leads and with the leads that come from marketing and enroll them into the program, the product, the service that is appropriate to solve their need. Okay, that's the objective. Next, you need to create the SOPs. What are the processes that this person needs to be able to implement in order for them to do their job? You should have these SOPs written and these training videos created before you even start scouting out for this role. There should be a list of responsibilities that this person has in the organization. There should be an objective for each one of those responsibilities, and then there should be a document and or training video that articulates exactly how to execute that. If you don't have the SOPs that are associated to the job description, then you're not ready to hire properly, at least. Okay. Next is you need the KPIs. How are you going to measure the success of this person objectively? What are the metrics that this person needs to meet in order for you to know from a very objective standpoint that they're doing a good job? So every role has a primary KPI. A salesperson has the amount of revenue generated. The marketing is the amount of leads generated. Your operator is the amount of projects that got done in a timely manner. Every single role has the KPIs that makes it measurable in order for them to be successfar. All right, the next one here is the monthly review. So the first 3 months that you work with someone, you should be meeting with them for 45 minutes to an hour, reviewing their objectives, their responsibilities, their KPIs, and how they feel in the company. Like, are they clear about what their role is? Are they happy working with the company? Getting their feedback of like, what should the company start doing, stop doing, do more of, do less of? Getting feedback on a monthly basis from a new hire in the first 3, maybe even 6 months, depending on where your company is at, is really important. So you need to make sure that you set up a document, a spreadsheet to be able to do a review so you can see the progress of your new hire. Next is setting up their virtual workspace. Keep in mind, we haven't even hired this person yet. We're just setting up their workspace. Okay, we're just like preparing for them. Hiring a new person is much like having a baby. Like, you've got to buy the crib and the diapers and the toys and the monitors and stuff before the baby even comes. If you have the baby and you're like, oh shit, we got to buy a crib, that makes you a really terrible parent. And so just the same, you got to love your team the way you love your family, and you need to prepare for them to welcome them in, to make integrating into your business as smooth as possible. And setting up the virtual workspace is so essential. And so when you set up their virtual workspace, you set up an email for them. You set up their Chrome account. You set up their bookmarks. You set up their tech stack, so their ClickUp account. You sign them into the Slack account or the Discord account. You sign them into Google Drive. You sign them into ActiveCampaign. You sign them into Infusionsoft. My God, don't use Infusionsoft. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hate it so much. It's so terrible. It's so terrible. Anyways, I digress. You need to get them signed into all of these things and create bookmarks. So when they come into their role, they sign into their Chrome account. In that Chrome account is already the bookmarks of all of the technologies, the assets, the documents, the Zoom links, the trainings, basically everything that they need. If you don't know how to set up bookmarks, go to our Facebook group and request the bookmark training or the ClickLess training from one of my team members, and we'll get that for you so you can see how to do this for your team member. Next, once you set up all the bookmarks, sign into all of the technologies that you use, into the G Suite, into the Google Drive, into the Zoom account, into Calendly, into all of the technologies. Sign them in, save the usernames and passwords. If you have a bigger company, set up all the usernames and passwords into 1Password or LastPass. Don't use LastPass. And get everything prepared so they're never looking for a link. They're never looking for a username. They're never looking for a password. Next is setting up the company calendar. So a company calendar has all of the meetings that everyone needs to be in all into one place. So as you set up their Chrome account and their email, their email address, you also set up their Google Calendar. And before they even show up, put the meetings that they need to attend to, the trainings they need to attend to, in their calendar so when they come in, they know exactly what's expected of them. Okay, after that, you hire the person, you find out it's a great culture match, they're high integrity, they're easily approachable and take criticism well, and they're also very skilled at the job that they do. Next, you say, all right, great, you're hired. Next, you got to get the tax papers. You wouldn't believe how often people don't set this up properly. Get your 1099s, your W-2, W-9, whatever the heck that you use, whatever country you're in. Get your government shit straight because real companies do this. If not, you are just someone that has a hobby playing business and pretending that you actually have one. If you don't do your documentation, your accounting, your legal, then you're not a real business and you're not set to scale. Get into good practice now, even if this is your first hire. Get your tax papers done. Get your here's another one that I did not remember. The consulting agreement. This will include the NDA and the roles and expectations. When you hire someone to start with a 30-day trial. After the 30 days, then do a 90-day trial. Then do a 90-day contract, then do a 6-month contract, and then you can start getting into year-long contracts or hiring them as an employee. Next, getting them set up in the payroll service, whether you're using Gusto or whatever payroll service that you use. Make sure that you get that set up with your accountant, the rest of your team. Next, what you want to do is in their onboarding, you want to schedule training sessions. You want to walk them through or schedule time for them to go over their trainings and then a time for them to schedule with the operator or whoever is their manager to be able to ask questions and get live trainings. Next, you want to schedule shadow sessions. So if it's a salesperson, have them on a call. If it's an operator, have them in on all of the meetings. It's a little cumbersome to start, but it should not take more than 3 weeks for someone to be fully onboarded and understand every system, every role, every responsibility in the business and have them up and running and fully autonomous. No more than 3 weeks. And oftentimes I see it take 6 months, 9 months, if ever, that people are clear on their role. When people aren't clear on their role, they will either annoy you a ton, and then you're going to think to yourself, "Why don't I just do this shit myself?" Because it takes less time than it does to actually explain it to them. Or they're going to kind of like be a little shameful and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then things slip through the cracks and you're like, what are you doing all day? Why am I even paying you? Either way, it doesn't work out. So allow them, like, spend time doing this properly in the beginning. It's a time investment up front that pays dividends on the way out. My first 2 years in the in running Level Up and running my business, I literally had 0 team turnover because we did this properly. And the only time that we had team turnover after that is when our company started to scale, and it was no longer like they were no longer qualified to do like these bigger roles. It was never that they weren't clear on what the expectations were. And then after that, be sure that you schedule the first monthly review for them, and it's clear on their onboarding day that it's like, we're going to meet this day and discuss, and then go through the monthly review of, we're going to go through like, how well do you fit in the culture? How happy are you here? How happy are you here? What's your feedback? How well are you doing your roles and responsibilities? Are you meeting your KPIs? All the basic stuff. All right. So now that you've hired this person, there might be this person that you hired might be replacing another person that isn't working out for you. And so now you've got to go and you got to fire people. And I'll tell you this, it is never easy, and it never gets easier unless you're a sociopath. Well, then you might actually kind of enjoy it. And in that case, like, seek therapy, because firing should be done with two tools: facts and compassion. And because it's never easy. It's never easy for the manager or the business owner, and it's not easy for the person that's getting fired. So like, lead with your heart, compassion first in the meeting that you're having with this person that you're going to be letting them go. So when you're leading that meeting, lead with compassion. But as you're preparing for that meeting, you need to prepare with facts. So there's no arguments. It should be very clear as to why you're letting them go. And because usually, you don't let someone go on a first infraction unless they did like something atrocious and terrible. Well, then, okay. But if it's just not working out, they probably know that it's coming. So be kind, lead with your heart. But before you fire this person, there's a list of things that you need to do to make sure that you are fully prepared to make this transition, because even though you think that they're not doing their job, they're probably doing more than you think. And when they leave, a lot of things are going to slip through the cracks. You can lose clients, lose accounts, lose friends, lose sleep, lose money. It could just be a big fat pile of loss. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make a list of infractions. This is something you should be doing even with good team members, is like, if they fuck up, like, you need to, it needs to be documented, just like their wins should be documented. I mean, objectively, everything should be documented. So there's no argument when decisions are made, because the decisions are made on facts and not just like on personal, I don't like your face, right? Again, if that's why you're firing someone, you're a dick. So you've got to plan the date that you're going to release them, which means the date that they're going to be leaving the company. You also need to come up with the date that you're going to have the conversation with them. If you're firing them and they're leaving like that day, then you need to let them know that. Or it's like, hey, we're going to have to let you go. We're going to give you another 2 weeks to offboard or train this new person. Do it on a case-by-case scenario. So next is the delegation the last paycheck. So figure out, what's the last paycheck going to be? Are you going to pay a severance? Are you going to pay him at all? Personal choice, but make the decision on what's best for the situation and your company. Just determine that before you let them go, so you can be clear when you have the conversation with them. Next is a letter of recommendation, if applicable. If there were truly just a shit team member who didn't do their work, don't offer this. But if you're leaving it, it's just like no longer a good fit, yeah, write them a letter of recommendation and actually have it before you get on have that meeting with them. They'll really appreciate that. And then next, you need to prepare to delegate their responsibilities. So you need to go into the thing that we created here, the job description, with their objectives and SOPs and KPIs, you need to pass that off to someone else, whether that's temporary, creating a bridge solution by handing it off temporarily to an existing team member, or if you're going to hire someone to take over those responsibilities. You need to have a game plan before you have the conversation. Okay? Once you have the conversation, then as soon as you're done having that conversation, there are a number of things that you need to take care of that are really important. First is you need to change the password to their email immediately and sign them out. So they need to be signed out of everything, and you need to change their email password. Next, you need to remove password access to everything else. This is why using 1Password is great, because you can literally just flip a switch and they lose access to everything. And that's great. You don't want them going into your email automation sequences, your Stripe account, you gotta remove them from everything. Your Facebook groups, all of that stuff. And you need to be ready to press this button before you fire them. Next, you need to go into their accounts and make sure there's not any loose ends. You need to go into their email. You need to answer all of the emails. Make sure there's no loose ends. You got to go into their Slack. Make sure that you answer or you receive all of like the DMs that they had, and so if there's clients that they're dealing with, and any other technologies that they're in, possibly Facebook groups, the ManyChat, any place that they have correspondence with the internal and external, the internal team or the external clients. You need to make sure that you tie up all of those loose ends. This is all stuff that your operator should be doing for you. Next, you need to inform the team. So in your next all-team meeting, it's like, hey, we had to let Jamie go, and he or she will no longer be with us anymore. And so here's the game plan. We're going to hire someone new. We're going to delegate these tasks. I'm going to need you to do this now, you to do this now, until we find someone new. So when you inform the team, you also want to delegate the tasks out immediately. That way there's a smooth transition. Nothing slips through the cracks. And once you delegate the tasks, then you may of the tasks in the ClickUp or project management system that are in there, you need to assign a new person to those tasks. Then you need to delegate the responsibilities, all the day-to-day things, all of the objectives that produce the KPIs that team member had. Again, this might be someone new, this might be someone else on your team, but these are the things that you need to do in order for you to properly let someone go. So this is the hiring and firing checklist that our team uses, that all of our clients use, in order to be able to have great onboarding and great offboarding of team members. The way that this looks in our ClickUp system is definitely more robust. So this is a checklist here, but we've got templates inside of our ClickUp in order to make this a whole lot smoother within your organization. I could show you some stuff in here. Let me move this. I could move this stuff over here. So we've got this here. So like we've got our workflow manager, and you could see the scorecard. Here, let me move this over for you. See the scorecard with all of the information and all of the roles and responsibilities. You could see the monthly review, where we ask all of the questions. I'll move this over here for you a little bit. Where we ask all of the questions of our team member and the strengths and the weaknesses of their job, and a whole lot of other things as well, including checklists for onboarding and stuff like that. You really want to make sure that you're incorporating this into an entire system, because there's a difference between having things that are well organized and things that actually work well in workflow. So if you want to train your operator to be able to organize, run, and manage all this stuff, if you want all of these templates, if you want the support of myself and my team to help you build the operations, the systems, the team, and the culture in the business, then simply just go to spencerburnett.com/apply and you can book a call with one of my workflow specialists that will figure out exactly where your business is at, what the next level up is, and the bridge between those two things. And then we can give you the resources, the programs, the courses, the direction, the game plan in order for you to bridge that gap so you can take your business to the next level, start to scale, more money, more impact, less time, more enjoyment in doing things that you love and creating space to do things that you're super passionate about. So go to this link here, spencerburnett.com/apply. Meet with one of our workflow specialists, see what we can do for you in terms of partnering with your business to help you scale to the frickin' moon. That is all I got for you today. I'm Spencer Burnett, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.